Hey guys, Dynamite647 here, and in this video we will remove um, the head unit I have in my car. This is a long-term review. I've had this head unit for about 2 years now.
Nice.
I've had similar head units before that, but this particular one has been used for 2 years now. And in this video we will take a look at what still works on the head unit, what doesn't, basically the plus and the minuses, and then a conclusion slash recommendation whether you should go ahead and spend your money on one of these or not. So the head unit I have here is installed on a 2013 Corolla. So this head unit is from Joing itself. It's OEM fit for the Toyota Corolla. You've got SD card slot, GPS slot. There's you can use a remote control. There's a mic here, multiple USB inputs, Wi-Fi, everything, as I've shown earlier in the specs. And then you also have NFC, and it does work really well. So the head unit is full Android. This is Android 6.0. It's got everything. You got your GPS, your Bluetooth navigation, backup camera works. If I put it in reverse, there you go. You got the camera lines and then the head unit lines, and you can do some adjustments here. So pretty loaded. We will do a cold boot, so you'll see how long it actually takes for the head unit to fire up. There we go. Right. Alright, finally, so after about half an hour, the unit has started working, booted up. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead through this. But anyway, so here's the main screen of the head unit. Now it's going to jump right into it. The things that work so far are all the hardware buttons. So all of these buttons work. For example, if I press this, it will mute, as you can see. That works. This is for radio tuning. The backlight here still works, you saw it earlier. So that's fine. The NFC chip still works. The Bluetooth, that still works, and matter of fact, we can go ahead and try that up. So there you go, device is paired now. So Bluetooth still works. You could use an external microphone right here, or you could use the one that is built into the joint head unit, so that's fine. Then we go back to Wi-Fi. There you go. So Wi-Fi is connected, and we can do a quick test. The head unit is not the fastest, just so you know, so things do take a little bit of time. So let's see. Now my internet is not slow by all means, it's really fast. It's just that it's slow. It's the head unit itself. The antenna system here is pretty weak. But anyway, so Wi-Fi still works, hotspot still works, all the music apps, they still work. The screen dimming feature, so if I scroll this down, or the brightness rather, you could do screen off, right? Sort of just makes it black. Let's go back into settings. Right. So display brightness, here you go. So I'll show you quickly. This still works. There we go. I'll turn it up for this video, so that's fine. All my apps are still here. Everything. The manufacturer has not really released a new version of Android for this specific model of this head unit. So day-to-day use, when I have it in my car, like I said, using GPS and everything, it works fine. Matter of fact, I'm gonna fire up GPS right now. So I mean the GPS is hooked up. This is the GPS antenna itself. So let's fire up the GPS. So there you go. It's just to prove that the microphone still works. I'm gonna load up a sound meter app. Alright, so like I said, it's right here, the microphone. There we go. So that still works. Now I want to go to the fun part, which is what doesn't work. So there have been a few issues with this head unit, and I mean, reading on the forums, a lot of other people have expressed these issues as well. I don't know if these are limited to join, but the issues are such that they might make this unit unusable. So now the first thing is the display here. Half of it is gone. My inputs don't register anymore. This portion of the display is unusable. It started with only this part being unusable, and then it expanded, and I'm pretty sure eventually it might be the whole thing. I opened it up, tried to clean it up, do whatever I can. When I talked to Joing, they said you have to replace the digitizer and everything. And then they sell actually this whole piece at the front. It was a lot of money for shipping and to change this, and I didn't want to do that, so I didn't go ahead with that. I had to actually use a mouse in my car to control some of the features. So if I touch it, it won't work. Now, like I said, this portion of the screen works. So if I press this, there you go, that works. If I scroll down, that worked. It was working fine for a year and a half, and then all of a sudden this happened. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the radio quality. Now I did buy, Join does sell this for the Toyota Corolla, at least this plug-in adapter. For some reason the reception is not that good. I have to play around with it a lot, so either I'll get FM or I'll get AM. It both of the stations won't work on it, both frequencies rather. One other big problem that I've had is, so this unit has a dormancy setting, which is an amazing feature to have, but if you go into now the head unit setting, not the OS but the setting for the head unit, there are certain controls. The password here is 3368. Sleep mode when ACC off. Now the way they've written some of these are not clear. I wish it was a bit more clear, but the car goes to sleep mode if it's on, right? So every time I turn off the key, it's not going to shut down, it's just going to go to sleep mode or dormancy settings. And if I do this, turn it off, the head unit will power off completely, and then every time you start your car, it's going to take it about 30 to 35 seconds before the head unit is up and running. So obviously I wanted the head unit to fire up right away when I started my car, and I would do this. Now first 6-7 months it was okay, but after that, what happened is during the winter time it was starting to drain my battery, and I would come up in the morning like every 2-3 times a month, and the car would not fire up. My car battery was 6 months old at that time, so what I did is I had to buy a new battery anyways. Even though I tested my old battery, the load on it was okay, I still bought a new one, installed it in the car, and kept this mode. Just a couple of months back I started doing that again, and I think what it was doing is at night or when I was parking my car in the garage, the unit would turn on by itself, and I think it was draining the battery. I know it was the head unit because when I removed the head unit from the car, nothing happened, the battery never died. So I know it was the head unit, it was draining the battery, so my new battery was dying, and that was a big issue, right? So luckily I have a power bank, I use that to boost up the car. By the way, it's a really good investment to have, you guys should consider it. And then So that happened, and then after that the other problem was randomly I would be driving down the road and the unit would reset itself, not restart but reset. And that would take 20 to 25 minutes, right? So, and I just showed that to you when I fired this unit up right now on my workbench. That's how long it would take. So if you're driving from A to B and you're driving for less than 15 minutes, you would come home and this unit was still analyzing apps, restarting, I don't know, doing whatever it was doing in the back. So I had a choice to either, hopefully just turn the car off and it would turn off too and it would drain the battery, or just sit there, wait in the driveway for it to do its thing and then turn off the car so it would shut down. That's been a big huge problem for me actually, because every time it does that it resets everything and then it keeps the apps, but then you have to go and reconfigure all the apps, especially navigation, radio, everything. You have to redo all of that again. I talked to Joing, they're like their answer was buy a new head unit. I think it's always good to buy if you have a local seller, so at least you can directly talk to them and send receipt through them. Besides those issues, other than that, like I explained everything earlier, everything else works, but these issues are pretty major. Like, I mean, I cannot, there's not, the touch input is not working on 80% of the screen. The radio has gone pretty bad. It keeps resetting itself and then the battery keeps dying. And those are deal breakers basically. So at the moment I have actually removed this head unit from my car. I've gone back to my OEM head unit while I figure something out. I don't know if I want to spend the time and money on fixing this, getting a new replacement screen, and then even if I do that, there's something else wrong with it, with the software, hardware, where it's doing all these other things. And I might look into another head unit from a different manufacturer this time rather than Joing, because I have had 3 Joing head units in the past and this is the third one. And I mean, after 2 years it's doing all of these things. So I am looking into other head units. There are other manufacturers out there. If I do get another head unit, I'll definitely post a review here and let you guys know my experience of that. Also with Joing, it might be a hit and a miss the way they manufacture this. Maybe some units are really well built and everything is well soldered, well put together, the software is checked, optimized, and maybe people don't have an issue. On the other hand, maybe some of these have an issue. I think one of the common theme here is the display here. I think that's from the forums I've read, from the reviews I've read, that's always a problem, this display. One thing I forgot to mention is the DVR. So I went ahead and got a Joing DVR. I'll show you the app here. Here's the DVR app. Right here, the Joing dash cam. I think this thing is a piece of crap. I installed it. The video quality sucks. I don't know if it's the software here actually, because this is apparently capable of doing HD video, but none of the clips are HD. They're all like 480 by something, like shot with a potato. Use it for 6 months and then it just stopped working. Nothing works anymore. It's completely broken now. It doesn't get powered. It doesn't send image. Nothing happens. So my conclusion for the head unit, I think a really cool product to have in your car. It really ups the tech on your car. You get a lot more features than your standard OEM radios, especially for old cars. Also, I would not consider having an all-in-one head unit. For example, buy a separate dash cam, something like a G1WC, and I have a review on it. I'll post it in the video. If you want to buy a head unit, you should get something that is a minimum 4 gigs of RAM and maybe a PX 6 or 7. One of those processors I heard are pretty good, pretty decent, they're reliable. Consider putting some sort of cooling here if you live in hot climates. And like you see, for the time you've used it right now, I'm touching it and it is kind of lukewarm here in the back. So you could imagine in a car on a hot day how bad it is. Get the right wiring harness. Sometimes they might skip on the radio wire, so make sure when you buy it, email the individual or the seller rather and ask them about if it's a complete harness for your car. Those are my recommendations when you look for a head unit. Just do a research on the seller, on the head unit itself. Spec wise, get a PX6, PX7 or a better processor, something with minimum 4 GB of RAM. That's very important. You just saw how slow this head unit is. If you're in a rush, you need to put in an address, you'll be waiting there just sitting. Get something, maybe it comes with a backup camera, so you could just install that right away. Get a separate dash cam. Don't buy one that is with the head unit. Would I recommend buying this joint head unit? I would say no. It's under spec. It's slow, and I don't think it's built to last, simply put. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned from what I went through with this head unit, and make the right decision for yourself. I do hope you guys comment below with if you have had any issues with head unit in your car, or if something that was really well lasted you for a while and there were no issues at all. Maybe post that below. If you have any questions or concerns, just hit me up. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.